Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Goat Media Invest. The content presented on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are solely those of the presenter and are based on publicly available information. Investing and trading involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Let's get the chart up here. All right, so Bitcoin's seeing a little bit of a pump following overnight. So far, we have been avoiding taking out the weekend liquidity so far. Um, we are at resistance right now, potential resistance anyway. So it is holding us down just ever so slightly. We were chopping in between the VWAP yesterday. And we do have this ascending trend line right here, as you can see right here. So this pivot low into here, we have this ascending trend line through here that's been kind of pumping price up a little bit. Also, the prior range on the daily, that is still holding price action up as well. So if you're looking for that rotation down to the bottom side of the, if you're looking for this rotation down to here, you remember this section here, this little bit of a section right here. So we have not been closing below that value area high of this section here. Let me turn this one off for just a minute. So we have been holding up here. Well, we carved out a prior range before getting to pop up after we took out the liquidity over here. So we've just been kind of holding on to this so far. And then you can see that rising low down below here. And that's what I'm kind of watching right now. So in terms of the rotation, you're just not getting it right now. Just not getting it right now. We are back above the point of control. Also, we could be looking to rotate back in here and take out the liquidity. We're not actually taking out any strong liquidation levels, like not at all. So just be aware of that. I almost was not going to take this long. I actually woke up in the middle of the night and glanced at the chart, and I saw something along from the 15-minute up to the 4-hour time frame that was aligning perfectly with each other, and so I jumped in that long position um, for this move up. Aside from that, I was attempting to wait for price action to get down to the lower range myself. It just um, I had a reason to not wait. And so I just happened to jump in. And I think I may have gotten in on like the third candle or something like that right here. Um, no profits taken just yet, so I'll see what I'm gonna do with that. Still have a lot more strikes going on over in the Middle East. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I can see that on the 4-hour time frame, we're somewhere around the 20 SMA on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. I can show you this little long. So it's not a huge pop up. I really want to be able to catch something with you guys. I just haven't been able to do that just yet. Um, so that's the long. Yeah. So I ended up catching it. Looks like it may have been this fourth candle. I said the third candle. So it looks like I may have caught it somewhere around this fourth candle right here. And I seriously was almost not gonna take this. It had already moved away already like 4 candles in on the 15-minute time frame. Just something caught my eye and I thought that I'd give it a chance. I didn't do it yesterday at all. I actually started to get a little bit of, FOMO right in here as we were chopping through this VWAP. We may have just hit our second VWAP target. Let me just see. This one is, yeah, let me add a VWAP onto this high right here, then see if we just hit that other. No, we're well above that. Yes, I mean, yeah, we're well above that. Wow. So here we go. Um, I just know that this is resistance area. And of course, this section right here is support, which is basically where we've been landing at on the, from the time frame where we're not breaking down all the way to get to the lower half of the range. Yeah, we do have some support through here. So I'm just trying to keep that in mind. Like it doesn't always work out that way. Let me try this VWAP right here. Just need to see what we're looking like right through here. Okay, I still don't find that to be a significant VWAP. We'll see if we can get the cross here. We've broken every other trend line that was through here so far. Back into this little resistance area here for Bitcoin. I'm not really sure what that's doing for the rest of the crypto space. Um, I usually don't look at them from these time frames, but let's just go ahead and see what we got in here. I have done no updates as far as these time frames. Yes, it's you know what, it's going to be stupid for me to even try to look at them from here because I don't typically look at them from there. Let me zoom out. Let me see if this is some good for you too. Hold on. See where we're at here. Yeah, this might be a breaking point right here. So it looks like we're probably going to get through here and break just based on the 15-minute time frame. 1 hour is not looking too good. 4 hour is going to start to top a little bit. Price action could seriously just be trying to get back into here. Let's pull a fib on this. Uh, so golden pocket was tapped there. All right, let's see if the golden pocket will hold it down. I can just see the 15-minute time frame here still trying to push up a little bit in here. Um, see how it held here. Did get an initial little breakdown right here for the reclaim, which is where I ended up entering at on the trade to the upside here. So we'll see. So perhaps if you're not in the short and you still believe that the rotation down is going to happen, we can look for a short entry. I really want to see some liquidations, and we just have not been getting strong liquidations. So yeah, no strong liquidations, no strong volume either. Liquidity is above the value area high here. So that is how things are going with Bitcoin. Oil has been spilling over a lot more. Guess it all really depends on where you set your stop loss at. I told you yesterday that I just found out that I could trade oil on Blowfin. Well, that's a lie because I went to take a long yesterday. So all I was able to do when I made that statement apparently was look at the oil chart on Blowfin. I tried to take this long yesterday. And I thought that it was me. I thought, okay, well, maybe I didn't do the execution right. I tried again, and then I got the message prompt that's my region. So I'm not able to trade oil. I can only do gold and silver, um, USDT, tether pairs. I cannot do anything else, which sucks. And my only option I know is BTCC, but I uh, don't like trading on BTCC. I just don't. It depends on the asset when you trade with them, whether or not your entry executes at market, at fair value, and I just don't. So I'm just on the sidelines with a lot of things, unfortunately. Um, we had our minutes Fed minutes last night and, not last night, but yesterday at 2 p.m. I know a lot of people think that it's not that big of a deal, that it's the minutes meeting, but it actually is. It actually was because you gotta keep in mind that Warsh is new. He's our new Fed chair, and everybody's still trying to figure him out. So anytime he can open his mouth, it matters. It really does matter. And from what I'm gathering, um, from that minute stream, that Federal Reserve minutes meeting yesterday, that there was there's kind of like a um, split decision in the rate hikes and rate cuts. I think for the most part, let me see if I let me see. Um, yeah, you have like 9 officials that are projecting at least one more rate hike for 2026, while 8 projected a pause. Okay, so it's kind of just a real split decision. So people are still trying to figure him out. So absolutely, the minutes was important yesterday. Um, I suppose we'll figure it out. While I'm waiting on Bitcoin here, I did give you a new update on Micron, just kind of letting you know. Well, I've given you several updates. We were weeks ahead of looking for a push down into this ascending trend line right here, as well as looking at the insider selling pressure here for Micron. So far, everything is going okay. Um, I did put out a new post yesterday, just kind of letting you know it. I get that, I'm still not trying to minimize the selling pressure here on MU. A lot of people may be feeling some kind of way about markets right now in general. Even whether it's crypto as whether it's traditional stock market, U.S. markets, or whatever it is, people may be feeling some kind of way, and everybody just feels a little bit short as they are repricing in. But Micron's sell off is a lot of profit taking. It's a lot of profit taking. So, um, and we do still have a good bit of Micron that can still hit the market. Absolutely. I said in that statement that if you didn't feel comfortable with wanting to long, maybe you may choose to short around the VWAP. So we're up around VWAP right now. Initially, we were seeing a rejection around this gap fill right here. So you can see right here, this first little wick right here was gap fill rejection right here. Put it on 15-minute time frame so we can see that a little bit better. So you can see right here, we had this gap right here, which was a little bit of a rejection there. And then price came back in to test. Yesterday, we were somewhere right here close to about to get this breakout right here because the inverse head and shoulder did not play out. And this was after hours, so the little dip that we ended up getting after first tapping the gap or second tap on that gap. And then when we actually got in to fill in the gap, then we got the rest of that rejection. But hovering around the VWAP right now, got a little bit of gap right here. So to see price pull back in to fill in this bit of gap right here once market opens. If they don't do it earlier than that, then it could be what happens when market opens um, to get this little gap fill here. If if you're interested in trading or taking a long off MU, that could be a good entry point for you right there. You got a double gap over this section, so it could hold as some really good support for you. So um, and then again, like I said, if you feel some other kind of way, maybe looking for the rejection around this VWAP. I mean, we're hovering around it right now. Okay, so that's how this is going. Take profit is all the way up at the next gap gap fill in here. It's not all the way up to that top side of that gap fill. It can change. I mean, it's up to you to decide where your take profit and where your stop loss is at. I'm just kind of throwing some bones out there, throwing some information out there. You can do what you want to do with that. I do what I can here on this channel. And then there was oil. So yeah, I tried to do this oil trade right here because we came back down into the trend line right here. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it because we've been putting in higher lows, and we would have to take this out. I'm close to being invalidated if it's wrong. Price dropped down to it. It held that time. It only put it up here to the golden pocket. That is what I did. So that's what I was looking for, just a back test of the golden pocket. And you can see that it went up beyond the first point here of the golden pocket, the 1.618 here, it tapped into the 6.5, and then it spilled over from there. So right now, um, it could be another golden pocket situation. I'm not sure. That was a perfect measure move there for price. I mean, we're not really around anything that I would deal with other than back test on these highs right here. Basically it. 786 isn't exactly holding. So yeah, it's just a back test into these highs right here. Um, I don't know if price is flagging out. Let me put it on a 1 hour and see. This is where it was yesterday. Could have caught that little scalp there. Of course, it did break up above, eventually broke up above the 75.29, which you have a lot of noise overhead in here on, on oil. And it could be looking to flag out right here. Could be a 4. Let me pull, see if this is a 382 50% retracement right here. Let's check that out. Put on our bullish duo here. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. So, I like to go with my levels, the pivot levels, as opposed to the Fib retracement right here, but you can use this Fib right here as well. So we could be looking for oil to, let's see, get as high as 820 today. And let me just extend this over. It's possible this is a 4. We're looking to get in here. Um, I mean, your stop loss would be pretty far off right now if you were trying to do it from where it is here. The 2, I would leave it exactly like it is too, away from that low, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna assume that we could get into here around about that 820. So that does give you about a 3 to 1, but you see what your risk is down here. So above just hitting a little bit of local resistance right here. So maybe not taking it exactly from the resistance area. Perhaps it can pull in a little bit in here. Um, perhaps back down into here would be a good spot. Just off of that a little bit. That helps somewhat in here. And that is if, like, this is going to be risky though, and that is if this is a 4, and if that was a completed 4 and we're looking to do a 5, fifth wave to the upside, remember you could use this as a take profit here. Always We'll take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, take profit there, here, there, everywhere. Let me slide this over, see if that triggers. We'll check back on it a little later on. So, yeah, it's not too far away from invalidation if it's wrong, because it cannot. Actually, it can come in a little bit lower, honestly, because if this is 1 and this is 2, it can drop lower. Um, I personally like when price action holds around a 382, 50% retracement, but it can do 618 as well, which would be a little bit lower than where it is. But let's see if that'll work. If not, then we can look back at it. If this is a flag, then around a 38250 is common for a flag. Very, 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 very common. I don't like anything that's longer than that. If it's longer than a 382 to a 50, then it's probably not a flag. It's probably more so a falling channel or falling wedge or something like that, but it's not a flag. So again, this was coming off of that low. Bring 17. It's your decision. Just throwing something out there. I was looking at Intel also. I see Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a reaction from that top right now. It's not anything major so far. Um, let's see what that one's doing up there. Again, the 1 hour on Bitcoin might be looking to come down. It's kind of large in writing. Well, let's just say that worked. All right. It's a bear div. I recall seeing that bear div there. Geopolitical tension, huh? It's already swooping through that. So I just want to see what this situation could be like. Looks like it bounced off of the, let me see if that red MA is still down below it. Yeah, that's where it bounced from. So looking good. I mean, the feathers are still looking good. He didn't end up getting that MACD cross, which it was on the verge of doing so. Any squeeze in here? Any squeeze? Any squeeze? Low volatility read right now, which with the low volatility read, it does suggest that price action can get up through here. And so if it wicks through here, that could be a first TP unless it puts in a lower high there. Breakout would get you up there though. Um, breakout would get you up there. Just keep it there. And see what SpaceX is doing. Put this on a 15. It's doing terrible, that's for sure. The bullish divergence just hasn't played out on it. I gave up all hope, all hope. Remember yesterday I said if it can get through here, if it can get through here, test there, back test and hold here, then that would be an entry. Yeah, I gave an update and so I'm not even gonna give it a try. Just not gonna touch it right now because it's still rolling over pretty heavily here. Bullish divs were not playing out, still are not playing out so far, but you are building up quite a bit of bullish divs. Let me put it on the 1 hour time frame. Actually, let me put this back here. Let me um, block everything that's here. Put it on the 1 hour. Okay, hold on. Girl. Well, unless it was supposed to show up over here and it's just, yeah. This had been our swing point. I guess maybe I should just stick with this swing point. It seems to work every time we swing above this level. It tends to work every time we swing above here, which is basically just saying 40. Get rid of it. What did I just delete? Did I put in a second trend? Okay, no, get rid of this one. But this is just basically saying 40. Every time we get above 40, then we get some sort of a, I mean, the trend line just helps. We love trend lines. We love trend lines. Um, a little bit of bearish divergence here on the 1 hour time frame. Let me see. I don't have enough data coming in from the higher time frames to just really focus on them, but give it a shot. Give it a shot. Don't have a lot to work with. That might have been it. That might have been it, people. That might have been it. Might be back. We might be so back. We might be so back. So back. Taking that little bit of liquidity right there. I think we might be so back on SpaceX. If we're not so back, oof, maybe 1, 2. We're still in the process of wave 3, something like that. We can chart that out too. 1 to 1 did not hold in this situation. Take that away. Hmm. I hate to find out it was me, right? No one wants to find out it was them. Let's see what we look like here. Yeah, could be. Could have been moi. Could have been moi. Could have been me. Um, just want to see something. In case it was something like this. I mean, I don't know. Right now, you just don't have a lot of information to go off of here. I do like the way that this was managing to cling on to that one to one there. I do like that for SpaceX. Perhaps it is a different type of situation here. Um, could just be looking to come back into that here. Yeah, take that away for a moment. I'm gonna delete this bottom trend line now. Yeah, you really want to see some sort of pullback from these lows in here on SpaceX. Um, you see how it's reacting around these lows in here anyway. Same situation right here. You can see that same situation um, took place right here. I think my initial zones were based on a 15-minute time frame. I'm just going to add a couple of things in here. Swing points. Um, if that's come in blue, yeah. So major swing points. I'm just going to put them in some blue in here. Uh, Probably take away the other ones. Keep that one. But I am going to turn off my gray zones. They have been working really good though. I don't think SpaceX is looking to get up that high anytime soon. Um, be remiss if I didn't add that one. Uh, those are the majors. I'm just going to stick with the majors. All right. And I'll label it majors. hope that blue isn't too distracting. I usually go with the gray just because it can be a little bit overpowering. All right, so at resistance right now. These lows in here for SpaceX. At an hour 23 minutes left. That could have been a low that got put in right here. Could have been a low that got put in there. Get past here, we can look for price action to rotate up, just breaking above this VWAP a little bit into that 157.65. We could look at something like that here. I'm gonna put an entry tool on it, not right now. We still got time on this candle. Um, take a look at SPY this morning, see what we're looking like. Got a 40 hold on SPY, which is good. So it refused to break down into weakness. It is a neutral though. This was a tad bit wrong in here, but okay. Probably like on a 24-hour or something. Nope, not even on 24. All right, yeah, as you can see, I did change my levels a little bit in here. Let me take this away. Let's just do away with that indicator stuff. So right here, you're gonna see I added the 731.63 in here, which is going to coincide with the lower trend line in here, the one that has been useful thus far, minus whatever happened in here, because I'm not really sure what happened in there. It is a wedging structure in here. You're not coming back down to the low right now. So if price action does get back up here to this high, that means momentum is rising instead of falling. And we could see it break out to the upside here. So there's something to be aware of. Anytime you're not coming back towards your lower end, then the chances are that you could, momentum could be rising here. And we could be looking for a break back up to the upside. Um, which which could explain why we got these little wicks down here at the lows that didn't manage to hold. So a lot of people looking to short right now anyway. Let's see. This might be a golden pocket back test. Yeah, little golden pocket back test there for SPY. But nonetheless, you are rising higher and not coming back towards this low just yet. But if you do, 731.63 is what I'm going to be looking for. We've already gotten that drop down. So we could be looking for price to rotate back higher. I don't like how things look. I really don't like how they look right in here. I'm not saying to not treat this like a rejection point either. When you hammer at something, you break it. That's my point. When you hammer at something, you break it. So hammer and tapping it again could break it. I would rather see another rejection here, and then if we head back towards this level, then look for the breakout on it. But three touches for this trend line right now could lead to that. This doesn't look right though. It really doesn't. Let's see what we look like on the 24. Yeah, we're still holding up on the 24. Still holding up here. Hmm. I have no idea what I have in here. I'll try to find something I can use. I don't like that. Let me see. Price action is at a very fragile place to be right now. The MACD didn't help either. It's just showing consolidation, as you can see with the delta sitting down below the zero line right here. It just shows the volatility. Um, uh, MACD still above the zero line, so it hasn't rolled over completely. Obviously, we can see that here in price action. So no confirmation from indicators, to be honest with you. And then let me see. Yeah, just per consolidation right now. Per consolidation. This part still looks good, which is why a test here could work out for it. It could. You can see how we almost got a flip there on the MACD the last time we got the drop into that trend line. So a drop back in that trend into that trend line. Um, that could mean that if we did something like this, we may not get too far. And it could do something like that. We're consolidating right now. So tell you the truth, if it was me and I don't have any positions in SPY right now, um, I would look for a rejection here. Um, you'd be invalidated very quickly if you're wrong. If price were to push into here, although, like I said, if you hit something a couple of times, you do tend to break it. That's just the risk that you would be taking here with SPY is attempting to short this trend line right here, the same way it's the risk you were taking to attempt a long here, right? So the risk would be attempting to short SPY down if it were to push up into this trend line right here. And then, of course, you'd be looking for it to come all the way down, hit 731, which at that point is likely to put in a lower high and continue to the downside. Maybe the next target would be 714. So you have a better risk to reward if you were to attempt to short SPY as opposed to longing it. So something like that is something worth looking out for. The idea would be that SPY does not take out this high, so you'll be relatively close. You have a really close stop loss. You have a really close stop loss if it was something like this. That's a 19. That's not terrible at all. Could it take that liquidity right here and still fail? Absolutely, it sure could. It could take this liquidity right here and still fail. I don't know how you feel about having a stop up here. It's like a 7-6 there. Then I'm saying, okay, we come down into here, you still have a good risk to reward. At least it's a 3 to 1, just to look for price action to come down into here. It would still be a 3 to 1. So not shabby at all. I'm looking for something like that. And I'm putting it on this candle right here because this is where momentum push price to the downside. So coming back up to this level right here, you would assume that people would be looking to defend this section. If you had a bunch of bears step in right here, you would expect for them to defend the level right here, right? Potentially. And then you could look again at 731 here. And if lucky and it puts in a lower high, then you could be looking for price action to come down here, which means we start some sort of reaction of doing something along the lines of this right here. So I like it. It's like a channel. It's like a channel right here, right? I like it. Let me see if I can't take one of these. Yeah, I can. 'Cause it reminds me of a bit of a channel like this. I'd rather it come up. I'd rather at least try this so I can have a closer invalidation. Um, as opposed to where it is right now. Let me move forward. Bitcoin is still on pause right now. Let's go AVGO. I think that they were doing pretty good. When I looked at it, it was doing pretty good. This is an old fit retracement level. Let's see what's going on here. One hour, 4 hour looks good. Daily looks like it's trying to flip. At least daily is back at the mean, so it's actually probably pushing into that green moving average here. It's probably above head. Yeah, it's above it right here. This actually doesn't look shabby at all. Usually I like to see it come all the way back down into here, which we're not doing, which is absolutely okay. This looks good. AVGO looks good. It looks really good. Yeah, I like this. It reminds me of every other pop it got. If you see uh, you see like the compression. You see how your ribbons just kind of all tighten in together like that. And right here, how they all just kind of tighten in together right here. And so you got that same situation that's kind of happening right in here at the moment. So I like this. Um, we're not coming back into the channel low, which is fine. I do see that the two prior times we did drop below here first, which meant that we eventually came into here. But it seems to get some sort of a pop every time get rid of that. You're around support level. This would be better. But it's a little candle pop right there. Yeah. So far, this looks pretty decent. Looks like you would get back to the top side of the channel first before the lower end. MACD is rising. You do have a MACD positive cross. Still looks corrective from down below, at least until MACD gets above the zero line. So above zero line, it's going to be a lot healthier on this move up, holding above VWAP at the moment. Holding above VWAP at the moment. A little bit of a bear dip on the right here. So I do have a little bit of a bear div here. I am taking note of that. And market hasn't opened yet, so maybe it can get one more push down, and then you can look to enter in on it. Um, if it did, then I like right here. I like around this candle right here. I don't think I get, yeah, I turn volume off because I don't like volume on stocks. Little rejection on Biddy at the moment. It's the 1 hour time frame that was showing some sort of a resistance level right there. Um, did fall back below point of control on Bitcoin ever so slightly. Let me just pop my head over there real quick. Breaking back below trend here. Just a 1 hour time frame. You see how bears had stepped in right here. So you are rejecting before you go into relative strength. Just right here. Did pop back below point of control right here. Just started to break back below it there. Let me see if this would have made a difference. No, not really. If you're looking for just to flag out, then again, 3 at 250 is the max below there, continuation down. So if you're already short, then you may want to um, consider TPing somewhere around in there. You don't actually have a lower trend line, you just have a top trend line right now. So nothing lower. The golden pocket rejection. Um, at resistance. So lower VWAP is rising. You see that lower VWAP rising? Yeah. So you might want to consider once it pushes back into this 50% retracement, if you were already short, because I know I didn't give a setup on it. I don't, you know, I'm not feeling bearish right now because we're not taking out lows. Um, we're not at any sort of major liquidation level either. Back around this 50. If it does push into 50, you may want to consider taking a little bit more out of it because it may bounce from there. The 1 hour was definitely showing that it topped a bit. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If it's holding in here, then didn't exactly touch that 382 either. Uh, but again, I would look to TP through here on the short. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Actually, I like it. I like it. I like it. This basically just speaks back to that other thing that I was talking about. You know how, well, you can see how it actually taps into the channel low in both occasions right here. Doesn't mean that it has to, be so obvious and drop into the channel low again. MACD on the weekly time frame still looks pretty decent in here. Uh, but just like we were dropping below that white moving average there and then getting the pop up, it still looks like it's going to do the same thing in here right now without coming back down here towards the low, which makes it more enticing to come back up here towards this high versus that low. I like the little steppy price action we have right here. That's cute. That tends to indicate up. Um, mean reversion. It is a mean reversion on the weekly time frame. Both other times it was let's see if that red lines up under here. It probably does. And sometimes it just, yeah, it does. It does. So both times before it was somewhere right around this red once again. I just dragged out these four right here. It would be nice if it does come back down here towards 340. That would be nice if it came back down here towards the 340, and then you can look to get long off of it. Still very, very likely that it holds up right here, though. Very likely that it holds up right here. Nice little spread between these two here. Um, on the buy side, I think that you couldn't go wrong on the buy side. Um, taking leverage and all that good stuff out of the way. Kind of late on the buy side at this point right in here. But if you don't mind sitting through potential drawdown, uh, it's worth it right through here. I like where it is though. I'm really leaning towards more upside from here. I hate to make any calls before market opens though. I was looking at Intel. I like what Intel was holding support at yesterday. I'm not gonna jump in on Intel, but yeah, I already missed it. My alert went off yesterday for me to jump into Intel, but I didn't. I was looking at this, the fact that it was holding down here, and then my alert went off, and then this candle started to push up into here towards the resistance area right here. So we're just kind of hanging out at 110 yesterday. I didn't see my alert had went see my alarm. My alarm had went off for the entry right here, and I started to do it. I started to do it, and then I was like, I don't like Intel. Not up here. I don't like Intel up here. I wanna get stuck in that thing on Intel. You know how many years people waited to get to break even on Intel? Ugh. Like, when Intel was lower, around 20 something dollars, I was rooting for Intel, saying, "Buy, I think you should wanna buy it." I think that the year of Intel is here, and it was actually it was very strong market call. It was a very, very strong market call. Of course, Trump ended up coming in saying something that made me look even better. But, yeah, my alert went off yesterday on Intel, and I did not take it. I did not take it. Could we be looking at a comeback for next week? Or maybe this is just a relief bounce and then continuation to the downside. But, Intel is pretty decent. We'll be getting the bounce off of, NVIDIA yesterday too. Saw my NVIDIA down here. Yeah, I've been hanging out in here. I'm not taking any trades right now in the stock market, to be honest with you. Now it's looking pretty good. I haven't really taken anything. Um, I've been sitting on my hands. I did close out some stuff. I closed out Elf. I think I shared that with you. I know I did. I closed out Elf, took my little profits on Elf. Um, I do still have my now open, and let's see what AMD is looking like. I know it was at support. I don't like AMD right now. Um, Palantir's under so much heat. Under so much heat. That's what let's see what that trend is right there. Palantir's under a lot of heat. Let's see, Apple. The pullback and continuation. It's sideways, so it's trying to flag out. Sideways, so it is trying to flag out. You can see how it didn't just absolutely drop once it got that break below. It didn't just drop. Let me be sure on this. Yeah, I have to do it like that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Otherwise, I would have had to do something like this. And yeah, put it back. So it's sideways right now. Um, sideways, attempting to flag out right in here potentially. And I'm saying that because MACD is all the way up here. It's not near the zero line right now. Delta is, which is going to make price action choppy right in here. So it's trying to flag again on a flag 382 50% retracement. So if you can get that, then you could look for some continuation up on Apple, or at least a scalp long on Apple. If you could get that, we'll put it from the low to the high right here. So if you can get somewhere back into these highs right in here, 38250, that'll be cool on an Apple scalp long with the potential to break out and take all the liquidity that's yeah, okay. That's all the liquidity. just the liquidity that's up here at these highs. Yeah, somewhere back there. Amazon. We've just been hanging out right here for a while, following that little tweeter top. I love me some Amazon. I'm not gonna do Amazon right now though, because I like to really get into Amazon. As long as I'm not screwing it up. I don't want to start screwing it up now. Oh boy. Might have to adjust that trend line. Um, no, I don't. It's good. I need to start covering the stocks every day. I've been a little bit late, and so been missing out on some entry points. Feel like a failed breakout, to be honest. Uh, Feel like it might have been a 38250, but um, yeah, it was a 38250 as well. Personally, I'd rather wait for price action to come back down into here or something, which may not be the best idea. I didn't do I didn't go with this one, but I actually like this one better. I've already got 3 touches on it. Well, 1 touch, 1, test of this trend line right here already. So I like this one. We have no back test on this trend line right here, but I like this right here. 382.50 means the golden pocket must come in somewhere right around that pivot. You'd be paying premium for Google up here. And I'm gonna check something else on Google, but you would be paying premium for Google up there. Your golden pocket must be right here somewhere. Close enough to it. I really like this. That would take some time to play out, but I like this. 22nd for earnings. Hmm. That was a 5 wave. That's why that golden pocket was up there. It's a 5 wave move to the upside. That's what I had marked out, unless I just did it just because it came into the 382 right there as well. Sometimes I will do that. If it were to pop back up, though, it would just put in a bear div. It would put in a bear div again. So for me personally, I like to see a long position off of the trend line here, and I just wanted to put it somewhere, so I just put it over the earnings, day of earnings, which anything can happen following behind that, right? But positive on the RSI right now. It is around the mean, so it could see a rejection from here. Lower high, bear div. Been a common thing seeing the little bear div on 24-hour. Just want to shade this out. that, but a little bit of a bear dip there. So it could potentially reject. If it does reject from here, then that'll be your opportunity to look at it coming into this trend line right here. It just all depends on what happens today, right? I don't think that it would, based on prior price action, it would take some time to at least to even get down into here. Um, Assuming that that bear div would play out. Did the same thing right here. See that? Had the same situation back here before. Ended up with the bear div right here. Rejection down right here. Around the mean with the bear div against the high right there. It came into this trend line. So around the mean with the bear div right here could come back down here towards this. So maybe 313 for today, which wouldn't happen today, but it would not happen today. Yeah, yeah, somewhere right around in there. I'm gonna hide this one for now. Focus on this one. So potential for a move back into here over the next few days if that bear dip plays out for alphabet for Google, for Google, and then from there I can look down towards the next trend. I'm gonna jump back over to Bitcoin here. Uh, we were just looking at that the other day. Uh, well, obviously, it doesn't look like this is gonna work. This is old, though, so I don't think I actually covered this chart here. I wouldn't get long on this right now, especially looking at the MACD. although this does represent that it could be squeezing and it could look to do something like this over here. Um, but it's really hard to. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it until I saw a shift in momentum. At least in terms of a long, I wouldn't attempt it just because of I wouldn't attempt it right now. Um, I would let momentum I would let momentum turn up first. Otherwise, this could start to roll over quite a bit, just given the nature of things. Tempting to hold this double bottom, but I would not engage in a long right now, despite that. Despite that. It's 12, 1, no volume to really go off of 24. I mean 12, 24, 24, 24. Yeah, I would not. I would not. This thing could nuke. Bitcoin's still holding the 382. It could speak to what could happen with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been moving really relatively close to MSTR, and it has been moving exactly like MSTR. To be frank, it's been moving exactly like MSTR. I'm afraid to press it. I don't want it to shrink it. But we've been moving exactly like MSTR. So MSTR doesn't look good. It looks like it has a little bear flag right here. So maybe Bitcoin can actually break down and fill in the range. Um, we're still holding at 382 right now on Bitcoin. This is a 1 hour time frame here. Let's go back over here real quick. I mean, these two time frames look completely. Let me take away this other line right here. Yeah, once we lose the support level, the 382 support level for Bitcoin, we're seriously going to roll over. Um, we needed that. We need that 382 to hold. 62 would be the target low. Then it'll be back into the highs here. 62. Be back into these highs right here to see if we can't find support right here at 62. And if not, I mean, you can basically say we've built up liquidity down here with this rising low. We have built up some liquidity down here. Like I really want to see us take some liquidity. The little order block over here has been maintaining. Really like to see us take out some liquidity in here, and then this is what we would be looking to hold. It worked before through here. And if it doesn't, we still have that measure move of this, which takes us into the golden pocket, which is the value area low. Um, that situation is still there. But if uh, there's any sort of invalidation, it would have to happen from here. But once we lose where we're at now at 382, yeah, we're losing the 382 now. So, yep, we're losing that 382 right now. So, could bang our heads a little bit, bang our heads a little bit um, at the 50, but it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. I just saw something and I didn't like it. did not like that at all. I still think there'll be some sort of a little reaction right here at the mean reversion, which is going to be this 50% retracement right here. But there's something not cool about this one either. So I need to stop loss of break even or something here. Stop loss of break even. Uh, Expansion, like let's see, I see a possibility for an expansion. Um, it's curving up right here. Good morning, Y Crypto YT. How are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, my friend. Bitcoin's just been in the chop zone here lately. Just in the center. Not taking liquidity above or below right now. It's sideways price action. I don't know if you saw that MSTR, but we've been moving real close with MSTR, and MSTR looks like it has a bear flag on that 1 hour time frame. Not looking juicy. Let me check MSTR this morning too, because anything can. Research strategy ain't found no new document. No, nothing since the 6th. At least not so far. So far, nothing. Hmm. kinda rough right now. I can tell you, I have been slonging. I've been taking longs and shorts. My last position short is from the high of the little move that we did make in here, which, is this right here. Um, After that and my, where I added into my entry in here, where I added into my long entry, and I had the TP set, in case price action came up to stop me out, which it never did. So with the rollover, it just stopped me out of the long position. After that happened, I kind of lost my balance a little bit. Um, I saw the opportunity initially right here to take the long. I mean, we did a little scalp position right here because we did take some liquidity in here. So that was the long attempt right here. It was this one right here, I believe it was. Yeah, it was this one. So did the little long attempt in here after this candle close right here, because we did take some liquidity through here. So after getting the swing fail down here, jumped in on that long right there. I was gonna be, I was gonna, not take profit at the mean. I was not going to, and then it was like, just take it. Just take it, and not just give it back. So I did take a little bit of profit off right here, and the rest of it went back to the market because we had been rejecting right here. We had rejected there, we had rejected there, we rejected there, we rejected all through here at the mean. We were rejecting because we were putting in bear deals, obviously. Didn't put in one right here, but like I said, it's a good place to take some profit from, even if I want to ignore it from time to time, and I, wasn't the happiest about it. But we did take some liquidity in here. It was something like 20 something mil of liquidity got wiped out right here. So it was worth the attempt right there. Nothing has happened through here. Nothing. Nothing. Not taking out this low right here. Nothing happened through here. I saw the potential for the break in here. I didn't take that. I didn't take that. And I was just saying this morning that I took this candle long right here. I woke up last night, and I happened to, tap on my computer. My desk and my computer is actually next to my bed. That's how obsessed I am. So unhealthy. Um, I tapped on my computer and to open it up, to wake it up, to look at this chart. And I was like, oh, okay. And at the time when I looked at it, I noticed that the 15, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour momentum was sitting at the bottom, all three. So I was like, you know what, you better take that long. So I jumped into the long position based on that. So it was actually this situation right here. So right here, momentum was sitting right here on the 1 hour, on the 15 minute, it was sitting right here on the 15 minute. On the 1 hour, it was sitting right here as well. And then on the 4 hour, it was sitting right here. So I was like, you know what? All three of them sitting down here in the position where you wanna assume a long position could take place. And so that's the reason why I ended up taking this long right here, because I did not take it over here yesterday. Actually, after getting stopped out on this one right here, I really just started to not feel up to the challenge. I really did, and I started to get a lot of FOMO in here. Actually, don't let me lie. I got FOMO right in here as we were chopping around this VWAP right here. So I did open up a position right here, which I quickly closed out. I kept the stop loss real, real tight, and I closed it out. And thank goodness I did because it rolled over. And then, let me see, because a loss is a loss, right? So I got FOMO right in here. I did get FOMO in here. It was like, girl, you saw the chance to take the long right here based on the momentum break. You saw the chance and all the bullish divergence. And I was I saw the bullish divergence. I saw that I didn't wanna take the position because I was like, "It's just gonna fail. It's just gonna fail." Um, and then once I got in here, I got FOMO, and I did try it. And I kept my stop loss really close. You can see 62, 219, 62, 1. I closed it out real quick. And thank goodness I did until I woke up last night and then I saw all three momentums pivoted here at this point, and it was like, yeah, can probably a good chance to take, probably a good chance it's going to bounce, and I should take that. So yeah, that's the only reason why I took this long. And like I said, I was late doing it too because it was this candle right here. You know, I didn't hesitate, even though I figured, I'm at VWAP, likely could be resistance. I could be, sitting a little bit of drawdown and feel uncomfortable because I'm going to go back to sleep. I don't even know what time it was um, when I did that. It must have been, I don't even know what time it was. Um, and I took that. So, but yeah, we just kept building in the bullish divergence through here, and I got scared to take it right here, and I didn't. And I saw it break on the 1 hour too. I did see the break was happening on the 1 hour too right here, and I still didn't want to take it until I got FOMO at the very last minute. So I was happy when this came back in here, and it was like, okay, I got a chance. I got a chance. It's not looking too shabby right now. I don't think I have it over. Yeah, I do have it on over here. You can see how the 1 hour is in here. The 15-minute just kind of reset. It could be a mean bounce, which is why I'm saying, around that 50% retracement, you could see some sort of reaction right in there around the 50% retracement. Obviously, the 382 50% retracement, just because we're so close to the mean on the 1 hour time frame. But it still looks like it could want to roll over. Yeah, at the mean on the 4 hour time frame as well to the upside. So it could still want to roll over. Whatever drop we get in here, I hope, and I would really like to see us get that drop, even if it's not into the golden pocket. I would like to see this liquidity taken. The liquidity from this ascending trend line, the liquidity from Monday, the liquidity from the weekend pump, all of this right here. I would really love to see that happen because then I could really take a long position and feel more comfortable with the long position. Right now, I'm in limbo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in limbo. I wanted a hedge. I just wanted a hedge position because I didn't want to. I still have profit left, more profit that I haven't taken. I'm actually up more than the profit that I did take on my short position that I have not taken. I didn't want to throw it all back into the market um, and not have a hedge to balance my account out. Um, but yeah, like we're just in the middle of nowhere. We're so in the middle. I know I'm rambling, but we're just so in the middle of nowhere, just sideways. Huh. I wonder how this would change. Um, I already know that this is for the golden pocket. I just want to see how much does this change. If, doesn't change a whole lot, right? Assuming that we didn't break it yet. Let's just say so I'm gonna redo that. I'm just gonna draw another one. I want to leave that one there. So this would be back to our low, I believe. Yeah, that would be back to the value area low on that daily. I mean, just assuming that if it did break to the downside, I think so. I almost think this. I'm gonna go to the daily. Yeah, that would put us back to the low of this value area low. If something like that did happen. This channel is just something I threw in here. Um, we were gamma positive. Gamma, that did change a little bit. But we were gamma positive, which means you buy the lows. Uh, yeah, that means you, hold on, let me redo something. I was trying to, let's get back over here. That would imply you buy the lows if we're still gamma positive. We're back in this though. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not doing anything right now. It's just super volatile. I still don't like the 1 hour. Um, you're gonna push back into the point of control, which I'm gonna do away with these VWAPs at this point. I just feel like it's noisy. Like my chart is really noisy. I'm basically back at the point of control. Price action just doesn't respect that point of control. It just doesn't. That's why I have been using the VWAP. I just don't see price action respecting that point of control whatsoever. But even the VWAP has been a little sloppy. A little. So you recall yesterday, I don't know if you recall yesterday, but I was explaining the fixation of the VWAP. Like I just prefer using this VWAP over this point of control. I just don't see that price respects that point of control. And if it doesn't respect it, then I don't have a use case for it. And I was explaining that with VWAP, you have wherever VWAP is here to use, and then you have wherever VWAP pivots from, which is here. So that's the pivot. I think that that's correct. You have wherever VWAP pivots from as your support level. So personally, if I could change things, I mean, it will be this point, the anchor point. That's the volume control level right there, and then wherever VWAP is at, that's how I would, personally. That's been more favorable in my opinion. I just don't see price action respecting the VWAP. I just don't. Not VWAP, but the point of control. I just don't see price action respecting the point of control. Um, I don't see it. And this low into this high, that's the point that you see on my chart on this 15-minute time frame right here. Um, I think that that's correct. I'm going to delete that golden pocket tap. This on the daily. No, okay, so it's from down here to here. I don't know. I just don't like it. Hasn't done a good job. Even I prefer support and resistance levels, obviously. I prefer support and resistance levels. So even, let me take this off too. Even in here, like where you could initially see like you weren't getting the closures above that value area low, price action was still pushing into here. It's still pushing into the resistance level, the pivot low right here, which nothing is ever gonna be 100%. I know that. Um, I'm a swing kinda girl, and I don't mean that, don't take that like anything crazy. I'm just a swing kinda girl. Imma hide this for a minute. I like swing points. I just like looking at where price action swings. Um, there's gonna be a lot of swing points. Yes, it is. I can keep this one off the chart because that's new. I like the more aggressive swing points though. Like it has to be like an aggressive swing point. So even if I did this one right here, it's not an aggressive swing point, but it's there. So I just prefer swing points. So this becomes a zone, that becomes a zone, that becomes a zone. Because I mean, if I was being petty, I would add that in there, right? So this becomes a zone, this becomes a zone, this becomes a zone. I could make this into a zone as well. I'm just not going to do that right now. That's just my preference. So that becomes a zone, that becomes a zone, and that becomes a zone. And nothing's going to be perfect. Absolutely. Not even, I can't really, I mean, value the, what's the name? The VRVP is no different than whatever I'm looking at through here. So my zone. So for me personally, it would have been something like this, which is how I kept caught my, if I caught a short or a long position, it was based on something like that. I know I'm leaving that out, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna take some stuff off of the chart. And these are just my zones. Mm. And these are the same 15-minute zones. See on the chart. Okay, Bitcoin. 15 minutes just been just all over the place. I don't know. So 382, 50% retracement bounce. If it works, this is just for preparation. Little reaction there. I still don't like the 1 hour. This is just in case it works. Then it would be an extension where you'd be looking for price action to get back into here. It would be an extension, which means this lower bound trend line right here, you would expect for that to be broken, right? You would expect for price action to push into here to here. Now, I prefer, that this is the negative space. This is an actual pivot zone. This is just negative space. Just looking at negative space to see how price reacts around negative space because you do have liquidity pivots in here. This one and this one. If this is a flag, again, flags don't typically go below 38250. They don't typically go below 38250. I didn't like that at all. If it's doing more than that, it's too extended in time, and it's not a flag. in the middle of the range, which is why I'm not trying to bother with giving it a setup on it because it's in the middle of the range. All I can do is just walk you through it because you have to catch it. Price action from a lower pivot. If we get the breakout right here, then that'll be different. If I can see like some momentum kick in here. Um, right now, nothing. Right now, nothing. But if we could get some momentum to kick in right here, we did hold the lower side of that volatility range. So if we could get some momentum again, then it's a good entry to take if we get some momentum to push us to the upside because you're still in the middle of that squeeze on this 15-minute time frame with the Bollinger Band squeeze. Still have a tight range in here, which means that something explosive is expected to take place. Just hasn't happened yet. So when we do get it, the acceleration, again, the Bollinger. See, we have a tight consolidation range in here. Um, Expansion wouldn't actually happen until it got somewhere into here. Which means you have to be aware of a potential fail swing. It would be like something that we looked at over, where were we at that time when we had that squeeze? And I said that it could fail. Oh, it was right here. It would be something similar to here. I remember when we had the squeeze in here. My thought process was if it pops to the upside, you really don't have anything um, to short. That was what I said. I'm just going to repeat that. I was like, you really don't have anything to short on a Bollinger expansion to the upside. However, to the downside, because we was looking at a wedgie structure in here. And I was like, however, to the downside, you could get a failed move to the downside, which you did end up getting a failed move to the downside um, on an expansion, but you had it was because of let me take that away for a second. It was because of this. Um, because of this idea right here on this squeeze that was in here. It was like, okay, you could push up through here. There's nothing in the way of price action accelerating higher, so I wouldn't fade the short, is what I said. Which obviously you was able to fade the short. I meant the long. I wouldn't fade the long. I said the short could be faded because volatility, price action isn't coming back into the standard deviation too. And if it did, then it could be a failed swing. It could be a failed break to the downside. Could be a failed break to the downside for that reason, which it ended up just coming back into the standard deviation two and then bounced away because these were all sitting down here and the breakout happened right here from the standard deviation two to the upside, which was easier to break out of. So the same situation would apply over here. Well, I would say to you the same thing I said back here, which would be I wouldn't fade a move to the downside. Why? Because um, there's nothing beyond this range that says that volatility can't continue. A volatile move to the downside couldn't continue. Nothing below here says that. Up here, it shows that you could cap out right here. So a break to the upside could mean that price action could cap out. So perhaps if there were like some sort of a false move into here, I would be looking to short it. I would be looking to fade that move to the upside. I won't be willing to fade a move to the downside because if we expand to the downside, it- there's there's nothing that says it can't continue. There's nothing that suggests it can't continue once this 382 is actually lost, like, literally loses 382. There's nothing that suggests that a flash crash down, um, would not continue. Bring this up a little bit just to take into account that bit now. I'm just gonna have to leave on that. Yeah, I would be cautious with the move up, um, because it can fade. It can fade a move to the upside. I wouldn't look to, um I know we've been making higher lows. I wouldn't look to aggressively long anything if we broke had a a large candle to the downside. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time here, and then I'm gonna go. I'm usually out of here at 8. Um, I know I can't give it too much because today, yeah, we don't have any major data today. We have unemployment claims, medium impact information here. Unemployment claims. Uh, Forecast is 218K. That's not until 8:30. This is going to stop being a flag below that 382. Is this a one-to-one? Just out of curiosity. Was that a one-to-one? No, it went beyond the one-to-one. I know it was a golden pocket rejection here. I just wanted to see if that was like a ABC. Still could be an ABC. I just keep dragging this one right here around. Price action has not come. I mean, the RSI has not come back into that. I just keep dragging it around. Um, Again, that is the 20 SMA on the 4-hour time frame. We're at the 20 SMA on the 4-hour time frame, along with the golden pocket rejection. That's what that was. Golden pocket 20 SMA rejection there. So in the middle of the range again, in the middle of the range for Bitcoin. The only hopium is right here with this, if this could potentially be a flag. I still see a little fading happening on the bounce up. Could still fade because of how the Bollinger Band is sitting. Could still fade this and not do any more than just back into this resistance area. Possible trend line rejection. That's my thoughts on it. We are waiting on that larger breakout or break up or break down, which is this. And I'm doing it like this. I moved it from this triangular formation that was in here. I moved it from that because of volume. The highest spike in volume is right in here. And so volume starts to decline through here, which means we're waiting for a volume breakout to take place. Whether that's some sort of attempt here with the what's currently a flag, which could be invalidated once it loses that 382. That's invalidated. Um, on the volume side, you can see how volume is declining through here, which means it's some sort of an explosive move through here that's waiting to happen. This is the initial measured move, which is down here to the golden pocket. This is, and that's based on this here, on this formation, that triangle formation that we did have. That's based on this. So you can see where that comes in. Let me make sure we got that drawn on here, right? Yeah. So that's based on this triangle that was through here. So that's the golden pocket. That's the value area low from the first, that first um, daily range that we have. So that golden pocket lines up with that one. The second option is this larger triangular structure that you can see through here, which is this, which is, you can see how we're capping out right there, attempting to flag out right here. That may not work out. That may not work out. And so if we were to break to the downside on this puts us at the value area low of the smaller range that's on the daily. So that puts us back to these lows right here. Which one is the lowest? That puts us back to here, this way. And just so far, we've just been holding so far. So far, we've just been holding the body low to the wick right here. So the order block, we've been holding this order block through here, just waiting to, if you short it in here, anywhere here or here, then you're looking for a full rotation. I know you are, so you're looking for a golden pocket to be found. Undoubtedly, we will have a lot, like without a doubt, we'll have a lot of liquidations take place if we were to get the move to the downside. A lot of liquidations will take place. Right now, we're just in the middle of nowhere. We're just in the middle of nowhere. We're not taking major liquidity. If you look here, you can see like we're in the center. Like we're in the center. Liquidity is up here. Liquidity is down here. We're not taking major liquidity. The last time we took some liquidity, that was a little scalp long from yesterday right there. So you can see that we ended up taking like 26.26 million worth of liquidations happening right there. Then we got the little candle in here. Blah, blah, blah. I was actually in the trade before coming on stream. It had just happened. Uh, Unfortunately, I have to make my decisions when I can make my decisions. So that happens. And you can see the little petty liquidations right here, which hasn't been much at all. So we've had little petty liquidations in here, but you can see how flat overall we are, with the exception of this one point right here. We got this high volume candle right here. We haven't had strong volume since then. We just haven't had any strong volume since then. Volume has been um, like extremely low, extremely low. This looks like just looking at this candle right here, and it just depends on how it closes. This is absorption because the body candle is small. This volume is increasing here on this candle, but the body candle is small. So if it closes as a green candle, then that means that bears are absorbing the bullish move. That means it would drop. If it closes red, then bulls are absorbing the short move, which means it could pop. But this is absorption right here, where we have a small body candle and we have a lot of volume showing up right here. 1.67K of volume you can see right there. So volume and the volume bar and the candlestick don't match, which is absorption. All right. Look at the volume here. Yeah. So you can see right here with this, all of this activity that took place. And that's the most volume that we've gotten so far off of, and that was bullish absorption right there, where the bulls tried to push price action. Or yeah, bulls actually won that race right there, but bears absorbed it. So that's why we're not seeing the breakout. It's the most volume we've gotten. So looks bearish. Again, that was bullish absorption based on that being in bar, and this being a huge, so a lot of activity took place right here, and bears absorbed that move from bulls. It's starting to get really active. What happened with the data? It came in lower than expected. So forecast was 218, came in at 215. Um, I suggest that the economy might be doing all right. Yes, numbers. Anyway, we're not going to do anything till market opens anyway, and I'm not going to be here for it. I love and appreciate you. You don't really have to do anything in here right now. Just understand that once we lose this down here, then you're likely to roll over. Right now, bullish absorption did take place off of this right here. A break to the upside could be faded for a short. Could be faded for a short. I wouldn't fade a break to the downside. I mean, we just don't have anything. And I'm tired of doing streams where we don't have anything. We just don't have anything. 20 SMA on the 4 hour time frame is where we're at in here. I can just put the Bollinger Band on and show you we're only at the 20 SMA, rejecting at the 20 SMA right there. Clear rejection at 20 SMA. That was also a golden pocket tap. Um, just in the middle of the range. You can always sit it out until we actually take some liquidity because we're just in the middle of nowhere. And I got nothing for you in the middle of nowhere. Strategy, trying to hold in here. Looks like a bear flag in my opinion. Looks like a bear flag. I mean, it just looks like a bear flag. Um, Possible that it could want to break down. Let me just look back at this chart since we okay. So that long is playing out. That's good. It is above the VWAP for anybody who didn't feel the way that I was feeling about it. Oh, let me take Bitcoin off of here. But this long so far is playing out pretty good. Again, market could open and want to fill in gap. Could open and want to fill in gap. So I could see it retracing here to fill in this gap. And then I would look for continuation to the upside. Personally, hopefully VWAP doesn't become an issue then. Hopefully this candle still hasn't closed yet. Still like 23 minutes left on this candle, but so far that is looking pretty good. Um, check again on oil here. What were we looking at right here? Okay, starting to squeeze. So you know you're going to end up getting that volatile move here on oil soon. It is starting to squeeze here. So we can expect some sort of volatile move here with whatever formation this is supposed to be. I consider them to be flags until they lose. In this case, it's going to be that 382. We lose that 382. It's no longer a flag. This isn't going to work at that point. But that's where I'm at with this. Stop calling me. Let me be a little anal to make sure I don't give you Okie dokie trend lines. Gotta be gotta be right on these trend lines. Otherwise, yep. When it loses that through here, then likely it's not what it was looking like, you know. But it is starting to squeeze in here, and we'll see that reaction. If you do get the break to the upside, remember all the opportunities you have for TP. All right, if this is going to be a wave four and then we're looking for a wave five, which you never really know where wave four is going to end at. It typically ends somewhere around the 382 to 50. If there is room for a 618 on this one, though, I can see that already. If that is what it is, there is room for a 618 on it. You may want to reconsider a potential entry around the 618 which would be, let's see, 0.618 is down below the 7102, so it's more so somewhere. I don't like it. I'm just going to cancel. Just forget about it if that happens, because then structure is it's a continuation of a structure change and not a bull flag. Okay, it's a continuation of a structure change and not a bull flag. So um, lower high, lower low, lower high. So if it loses through here, then another lower low. It's a structure change. All right. SpaceX not doing too tough, but see where we're at. And this is based on what I had in here beforehand. This wedge structure that I had in here, that's what that's based on. I'm not saying to you that that's going to happen, but I did give a measured move to it, which means looks like I need to pull this up a little bit. Okay, I think I can just set it to the side or something. So that's that. I'm not saying that that is actually going to happen, but it is a theory. It is a theory right now. Could also look at this and why does this look funny like that? Because I drew it off of this time frame. Okay, I'm just trying to see like why. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to. The only thing I could relish in was on the 4 hour time frame, how we were holding at the 1 to 1. That was it. Otherwise, you know, it could be something bigger, could be a wave three. Um, but here you can see how we did not get any, you know, we actually held up pretty well right here at the 1 to 1. Um, but I don't have a clue. Just being honest, I don't have a clue, and if I don't see it, I don't see it, and I can't force myself to see something that I don't see. So that's that. Uh, we had the bull dips going on down here, but bullish divergence has not been playing out. Maybe that can change. Again, bullish divergence through here. Maybe that can change. This is actually from the 15-minute time frame, I believe. Nope, 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 nope. That's from the 4 hour. Did we break? Yeah, we did break. That's right. We did break. We did break up. My bad. We did break up. Right. And we're trying to see momentum push up right here. So maybe this is good. Maybe it's good. Yeah. Look forward to get back here to the top side of this trend line. Let me make this so it doesn't move. So coming in, opening before market opens, we are seeing momentum trying to increase to the upside, trying to play out the bullish divs. Could be looking for another rejection around this VWAP into this trend line right here. That's all I'm saying. Because I really I don't see it. It's not looking good. So I don't have a position to give on that. SPY, what we're talking about here, SPY. can get in there, it could potentially be a short, be a quick invalidation of the trend line, and it would be a quick invalidation of the trend line. I don't have it exactly on the trend line, but it, yeah, that's fine. I'm looking at this candle right here where momentum, where bear stepped in and drove price action down, and was significant increase in momentum took place right there. So just just gonna look at it like that. Maybe it does, maybe it holds it down. Just like, this held price action up. Maybe it holds it down one more time. I know that when you hammer something, you may break it, but that's a quick invalidation. If it does break through it, it's a quick invalidation. Okay. Looking for first move down here, second move will be down here. And I think that was it. Intel is going. Sorry. Yeah, I did not take that Intel position. Intel is going. Got the momentum swing right here. Gonna come into a little bit of resistance around the 50% retracement. The mean is in 50% retracement, but it's a mean reversion, so it's gonna be right in here. So maybe you reject. Just say it pushes through that. Maybe you see a rejection here from the scene of the crime. Maybe it rejects. So you can look out for something push back into about 123.16 there. And looks like Bitcoin is getting that rollover. Go back over here. Like I said, you can fade a pop to the upside. You can fade the pop to the upside. I would not fade the breakdown. And I'm out.